Remember, boys, remember what you are fighting for. Is it worth it? Well, for some people, it is, as it looks like there is very significant military hardware from the United States being sent into the Middle East right now, signaling how we might be in it for the long haul. But what's happening behind the scenes? What's happening publicly, especially right now with J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, as there's now a lot of people that are pissed at Tulsi as Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, came out and warned about some very serious consequences for all of these very aggressive, impromptu surprise actions that we are all being introduced to right now that's driving people mad. As, of course, I think it's worth talking about these topics in an honest type of way and perspective, as we are still waiting for the ultimate decision to be made by the President of the United States. All of this as this war continues to be sold to us in a very dishonest way. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, as the corporate media is shouting a whole bunch of nonsense out there. We'll break through all the nonsense. We'll tell you exactly what's going on. If you appreciate that, subscribe, click the notification button. As, of course, we're being told right now, it's going to be like that movie, Top Gun. Yeah, it goes zoom, missile goes zoom, zoom, zoom. Yay, boomer, go! They're going to grease the liberators. That's literally what we're being told on Fox News, as the poor boomers are being inundated to just this type of insane propaganda.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here is we're being told this is, I think, anywhere from just shy of 200 to 300 feet in depth. There are all kind of reports out there of 1,000 foot, but I think that's more propaganda. So what you end up doing is, if you saw the movie, the latest Top Gun movie, eerily enough, this is that plot kind of coming to fruition in real life.
Propaganda, you say? Oh, yeah, it's good. Missile goes in there. And then, of course, we have other death merchants telling us, oh, yeah, it's going to end in a matter of weeks, not months. Yeah, it's going to be quick and easy. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. It's not going to be a forever war.
Forever war. We're looking at a strategic campaign to eliminate.
Yeah, it's going to be so strategic and so smart. As, of course, if you remember, the Iraq war was sold to us the same exact way. As Cassandra McDonald points out, Dick Cheney told us, I think it will go relatively quickly. Weeks rather than months. Donald Rumsfeld, it could last 6 days, 6 weeks. I doubt 6 months. It lasted a lot longer. As, of course, these same lines are literally just being dusted off, and they're changing that cue to the N, as there's other people who have been through this before. Individuals like Alex Jones are talking about the very serious consequences here, as there's a big possibility for a full-scale war here, as these bombings that a lot of people, because there's some people out there, some people that I know, they're like, well, we'll just drop the bomb once, it'll be okay, and then everything will be over, everything's going to be fine. No, this would spiral down into regime change, into quagmires, into Russia and China exploiting the situation for their own greater geopolitical benefit. All of this as we're having a lot of the key members of this administration kind of fall in line, including two figures, J.D. Vance and Tulsi Gabbard. Now, previously before this, we have been hearing that it was these two individuals that were the actual ones that were trying to push Donald Trump away from committing these massive military actions. They are now on national television during these key moments and times here, reiterating almost the exact Donald Trump talking points as perfectly reiterated by the Vice President of the United States.
Look, what the president said is so perfect about this. I think he gets to define America first, because he's the person who ran, who was elected, and who actually leads this movement. And for all of the...
Yeah, whatever he says goes. And if we say America first, and we prioritize another country, and we give them our missiles and our weapons and our defense and our intelligence, and then we get them in a quagmire, that's America first somehow, as there's multiple negative ramifications from all of this. As the biggest surprise from a lot of people came from Tulsi Gabbard last night, as she now is saying that Iran can produce nuclear weapons within weeks, as she went on and said, quote, the dishonest media is intentionally taking my testimony out of context. As, of course, a couple of weeks ago, she came out and she reiterated that, according to the investigations, Iran was not building a nuclear weapon. But now she says this was out of context. This was fake news and, quote, meant to manufacture division. As, quote, she says, America has intelligence that Iran is at the point that it can produce a nuclear weapon within weeks to months. I think this comes in light of Donald Trump continuing to be asked about Tulsi Gabbard's assessments here, as Tulsi Gabbard also released a video about nuclear annihilation and the warnings of a nuclear war, which now Vladimir Putin is also reiterating. Putin's comments on all of this are very interesting, to say the least here. But what happened here? What Tulsi here, as we have the Daily Beast reporting, Tulsi Gabbard flips sides in MAGA civil war over Iran's nuclear capabilities. She said one thing one day, another thing another day. We have some interesting kind of critiques of her, but what she said a few days ago before all of this kind of unfolded definitely ties in to what Putin is concerned about himself. Now, we'll tell you about what Putin said and the criticism against Tulsi in a little bit. Before we do that, we wanted to tell you about BiltongUSA.com. I really like this company. They are working with me. They are sponsoring me, and I'm happy they do, because they send me these very convenient meat packages that are not just tasty, but super clean. I really, really, really do enjoy products that are not filled with crap and preservatives and seed oils and dyes and all this other stuff. And getting clean, good meat is very difficult, as our food industry is just being poisoned. As, of course, Biltong is a family-friendly snack, low in carbs and packed with protein, making Biltong the ultimate health snack. Biltong is a great source of iron and also serves as a source of several other essential nutrients, including magnesium, potassium, and B vitamins. Fueling gains in every aspect of your life, whether you're following a carnivore, keto, or high-protein diet, Biltong is the perfect addition to keep you on track. Use code WRC for 10% off. You guys are not use the promo code. It does help us out when you do use that promo code. And they got a bunch of other stuff. They got dried fruit. They got chocolate. But seriously, if you like spicy meat, right, they got some really spicy stuff over here. I don't. My gut doesn't treat it as well, but Wagyu is my favorite. I always appreciate the bits of fat in there. You could get them as fat as you want. You could get them as moist as you want, and truly great snack, especially if you're on the road. I just gave some to the person helping me do the garden here. They love it. My neighbors love it, and I think you will too. Support them and support our network at the same time. Now, let's continue back to Tulsi Gabbard here. That a lot of people were kind of surprised by her statement here. Michael Tracy says, Tulsi Gabbard was a virulent critic of Trump's Iran policy, denouncing it as an illegal neocon warmongering. Now she says Trump was right, and that policy was great. If your only response to this 180-degree flip is to condescendingly say, well, what did you expect? Or to chastise me for holding minimal standards of consistency, I guess we differ in how we evaluate public officials. There's something quite pathetic about having one's first instincts always be to rationalize and justify the blatantly self-serving behavior of office seekers. That's one way of putting it. But listen, there's multiple kind of understandings from all of this, as we have the CIA, Ratcliffe, coming out and talking about how the Iranians are on the 1 yard line. We have J.D. Vance, we have Tulsi Gabbard here. There's an aspect of this that we have to understand. Could be legitimate and could be something that they are legitimately in belief of. Or, that's one possibility, that's one theory, they were told to fall in line and they all fell in line. I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I have been hearing that it was those voices that have been the biggest protest voices, J.D. Vance and Tulsi Gabbard. For them to make these kind of public statements does contradict that. But what if they were just told, hey, you want to be here? You're going to issue these statements. I think that's a little bit more of a possibility, but there's also a possibility that the official story of what we're hearing here could be officially true. Let's just be honest with ourselves. But Putin has an interesting take on this, as Putin is telling Israel specifically, there's no evidence Iran even wants nukes. Now, the Iranian nuclear program already involves the Russians and the French, okay? The French are the ones that take the uranium and make the kind of energized tubes for them. The Russians take the waste afterwards. And listen, they have been intricately involved here. There's Russians working on this. But conveniently, Iran is a major ally to Russia. Iran is a major ally to China. China's really pissed off here. Putin's really pissed off here. And it would be in their favor to tell the world, no, they got no nukes. Don't worry about them. They'll be fine. As he now says, Moscow has repeatedly told Israel there's no proof Iran is building nuclear weapons, citing both Russian intel and the IAEA. Putin says, we have never had any evidence in Iran is preparing to obtain nuclear weapons. He added that Iran has every right to a peaceful nuclear program and that Russia is ready to help. Moscow's slowly picking its lane, and it isn't in Tel Aviv, according to Reuters. Now, Putin also came out and said that he is concerned about the, quote, world drifting into World War III, as he says Russia and Iran are fighting against the same forces. Well, guess what? The same U.S.-funded, from my tax-paying dollars, missiles are landing in Tehran as they are in Moscow. Let's just be honest with ourselves, and I think they realize that. And I think the Chinese are looking at that, and I think this kind of creates a very kind of uncomfortable situation as they're saying, well, the United States is producing these missiles, and they're just using proxies in order to attack us and our allies and our friends. That right there is not a very comfortable situation, as, of course, we keep getting more and more reports of a very significant military presence from the United States in the Middle East, as now we are hearing that F-22 Raptors were just spotted and deployed into the Middle East. They are one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world, as now we are finding out that 5 battle groups warships are currently in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea. There's an additional 2 warships in the Gulf of Suez, 4 in the ships in the Arabian Sea, an aircraft carrier in the region, and another aircraft carrier en route. As the military buildup is big, and that's everything that we're seeing, everything that we're hearing. Yes, a lot of military movement is slowly and surely taking place in the region. As Michael Tracy says again, it's being set up where if there's no long-term deployment of hundreds of thousands of U.S. troops, just the U.S.-Israeli bombing Iran into oblivion with the aim of toppling the government, that's a win for America first. Iraq as the eternal benchmark that justifies all else. Yeah. Listen, Steve Bannon is even kind of warning that the, quote, party is on, kind of hinting that according to his sources and the people he's talking to, that the decision already has been made. And again, we told you this about a week ago, but this is what Steve Bannon is reporting. There's a small chance there might be an off-ramp here, and I pray there will be an off-ramp here, because a lot of people just don't get it. A lot of people are just wishfully thinking and naively thinking and just putting their heads in the sand. And I'm like, what are you doing? Just because you hope things are going to be great doesn't mean things are going to be great. As Steve Bannon had this to say.
But there's others, I'm just reporting what I'm hearing from pretty good sources. The party is on. So another big weekend in this unfolding aspect of the Third World War. And no, anyone that's telling you that the Third World War is not here is absolutely does not understand the development and evolution of kinetic.
Yeah, but it's just going to be one clean strike. Boom, Top Gun. It's going to be in and out, quick and easy. No forever wars. How long were we in Iraq? How long were we in Afghanistan? What do we have to show for ourselves for regime change in places like Libya, in places like Syria? I mean, seriously, America, wake up. It's just bewildering that we are rerunning it and doing all of this, endangering the American people and our interests and our security, as there's consequences for all of these kind of long-term actions that I think not a lot of people are kind of contemplating and thinking about in an honest and concrete type of way here. Alex Jones had his own type of assessments into this, and I thought his analysis is also very important and right on the money. And listen, he's been sensational sometimes. I get it. But when it comes to this particular conflict, I think there's an argument to be made to specifically say, yeah, we should be speaking out and ready for all types of nonsense, because that's how quickly it all escalates to. All right? That's how quickly everything just devolves and falls down and collapses and creates a scenario where, oh, crap, there's no going back from this. So I would rather have more people be like, I don't want any more war. Stop it. Rather than, oh, no, this is going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. Well, I'm just going to close my eyes, put my head in the sand, and everything's going to be fine. It's just a ridiculous, idiotic take.
But if we have a super unpopular war and we directly get into it and then we hit them, the Iranians will hit our bases, they will hit the aircraft carriers, and then we will be forced to go into full war. Let's say there's regime change, then it goes into a quagmire. We know even the CIA is now, it's in the news, briefed Trump and explained that, oh, they might build a nuke quicker if we don't take them out immediately. And it looks like we can't take them out very quickly. This would be probably protracted. And what they're really hinting at is they've got the bomb. They've had the bomb. I've been saying that for 15 years, and I have sources. I'll just leave it at that. Sources on the ground, sources in CENTCOM that saw it, the satellites. We've got spies with snoopers on the ground. We know they've got a lot of fissile material from the scans, from the aircraft and satellites that can pick this up. So we know they've got it. That's why Netanyahu for 25 years has said they're 2 weeks away. Well, from my intel 15 years ago, they had enough fissile material. Now,
No, they had enough material. Does that mean they have it? According to Alex Jones, yes, they do. Which would kind of not just verify Tulsi's theory and explanation here, but goes further than that. But the question that I would have is, if they have it, why haven't they used it? And the Iranians have shown restraint throughout the last few years, even though they kind of launch unkinetic forms of warfare. Okay, and there's an argument to be made about their sponsorships of all the kind of terror groups in the region. There's a lot of other terror groups in the region as well that our tax dollars paid for, that they fought, specifically the Al-Qaeda, the Sunnis, the Al-Nusras, ISIS, and all those other ones. Now, Hezbollah and Hamas are the ones that are supported by Qatar and, of course, Iran, and as well as the Houthis as well, that Donald Trump kind of bombed the crap out of. And when you look at Trump's kind of foreign policy from the beginning of this, he started off very aggressively bombing, more than he did in his first term, the Houthis in Yemen. And there were a lot of very significant strikes on their infrastructure. And listen, the United States has been bombing the Houthis for 20 years. We haven't been able to get rid of the Houthis, okay? There's some persistent low IQ, like people in there that are like, and you're not going to take us out. We haven't been able to do that. So you think launching a airstrike campaign, because again, you can't send troops into Iran, right? There's too many natural barriers, right? The Iranians have a lot of troops. They have a lot of natural borders, okay? I don't see how that's going to work out. So you think a bombing campaign that you can't even successfully do against the Houthis is going to work specifically against Iran? I just don't see that happening.
the bomb's all put together. We don't know, but they've got it. And with the technology, this is 1940s technology, it's easy. So now that's finally starting to hit the news. Trump doesn't want a Libya scenario. Now Russia has come out and made a disturbing threat of nuclear Armageddon. And a week ago was saying they were probably not going to get involved. Now they're saying they're going to get involved. China is hoping we get involved because they believe it'll push people quicker into the BRICS and accelerate the dollar's problems that Trump's trying to stabilize. And on the track we're on, will happen. And so strategically at every level, this goes from bad to worse.
Yeah, I agree. There's no argument to be made that our economy is going to be better, right? That our security is going to be better, right? Okay. That our relationships with foreign countries will be better. That tensions geopolitically will die down and relax. There's no argument to make about cheaper goods, lower costs at the grocery stores. The inverse is happening here, especially with how much money, how much time, how much investment we're spending, and just how fast all of this is expanding and growing into so many weird, crazy, wild directions that I pray we do everything in our power in order to try to avoid. If you agree with that, share this video. Thank you to our sponsor for today's video, BiltongUSA.com. Great people there. They're going to have a store in Texas. You get to meet them. You get to hang out with them. Go check out their live streams. You can see how the product is made in real time. And again, there's a few things that you can enjoy in life, and one of them is great food. Enjoy it while we still have opportunities and chances to enjoy life as much as we can right now, because I have a feeling the situation's going to get a lot more tumultuous than it already is right now. I think the order has been already given. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Small chance for an off-ramp. I hope I'm wrong. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.